Hello, 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 hello. It is day 62 of reading the Bible in a year, and my hair looks a mess because it starts to go static in the winter, and it's towards the end of the autumn, and it's getting cold outside. So my hair's going static. It's, the hair at the back is fine. It's just at the front where my moist air that I breathe out goes into my hair. Yay. Alright, and I didn't do, I only did, was it 2 chapters last time? No, 3 chapters. 27, 28 and 29. And I've got the rest of the book of Deuteronomy to read. Yay. Alright, let's try and get on with it. The blessing of returning to God. Now it shall come to pass, when all these things come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you call them to mind among all the nations of where the Lord drives you, and you return to the Lord your God and obey his voice, and according to all I command you today, you and your children with all your heart and with all your soul, that the Lord your God will bring you back from captivity, and have compassion on you, and gather you again from all the nations where the Lord your God has scattered you. If any of you are driven out to the farthest parts under the heavens, from there the Lord your God will gather you, and from there he will bring you. Then the Lord your God will bring you to the land of which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it, and he will prosper you and multiply you more than your fathers, and the Lord your God will circumcise your heart and your heart of your descendants, to love the Lord your God and with all your heart and with all your soul, that you may live. Also the Lord your God will put all these curses on your enemies and on those who hate you, who persecuted you, and you will obey again the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command you today. The Lord your God will make you abound in all the work of your hand, in the fruit of your body and the increase of your livestock, and in the produce of your land for good. For the Lord will again rejoice over you for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers, if you obey the voice of the Lord your God to keep his commandments and his statutes that are written in this book of law. And if you turn to the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. And it stops there. The choice of life or death. What a choice. For this commandment which I command you today is not too mysterious for you, nor is it far off. It is not in heaven that you should say, who will ascend into heaven for us and bring it to us that we may hear and do it? Nor is it beyond the sea that you should say, who will go over the sea for us and bring it to us, that we may hear and do it? But the word is very near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. See, I have set before you today life and good, death and evil. In that I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways and to keep his commandments, his statutes and his judgments, that you may live and multiply, and that the Lord your God will bless you in the land which you go to possess. But if your heart turns away, that you do not hear, and are drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I announce to you today that you shall surely perish, and you shall not prolong your days in the land which you cross over the Jordan to go and to possess. I call heaven and earth as witnesses today against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your descendants may live, that you may love the Lord your God, and you may obey his voice, and that you may cling to him. For he is your life and the length of your days, and that you may dwell in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them. Chapter 31. Joshua, the new leader of Israel. Then Moses went and spoke these words to all Israel, and he said to them, I am 120 years old. I can no longer go out and come in. Also the Lord has said to me, you shall not cross over this Jordan. The Lord your God himself crosses over before you. He will destroy these nations from before you, and you shall dispose of them, dispossess. Joshua himself crosses over before you, just as the Lord has said. And the Lord will do to them just as he did to Sihon and Og, the kings of the Amorites in their land, when he destroyed them. The Lord will give them over to you, that you may do to them according to every commandment which I have commanded you. Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord your God, he is the one who goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Then Moses called Joshua and said to him in the sight of all Israel, be strong and of good courage, for you must go with this people to the land which the Lord has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you shall cause them to inherit it. And the Lord, he is the one who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be dismayed. The Lord to be read every 7 years. The whole of what I've just read every 7 years. Well, some people read it every year. Some people twice a year. And I guess some people even more. So Moses wrote this law and delivered it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and all the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, at the appointed time in the year of release, at the feast of the tabernacles, when all Israel comes to appear before the Lord your God in the place which he chooses, you shall read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women and little ones, and the stranger who is within your gates, that they may hear and that they may learn to fear the Lord your God, and carefully observe all the words of this law, and that their children who have not known it may hear it and learn to fear the Lord, as long as you live in the land which you crossed the Jordan to possess. Prediction of Israel's rebellion. Oh no. Then the Lord said to Moses, behold, the days of approach when you must die. Call Joshua and present yourselves to the tabernacle of meeting, that I may inaugurate him. So Moses and Joshua went to present themselves in the tabernacle of meeting. Now the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of meeting in a pillar of cloud. And the pillar of cloud stood above the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord said to Moses, behold, you will rest with your fathers. Then this people will rise and play the harlot with the gods of the foreigners of this land, where they go to be among them. And they will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my anger will be aroused against them, in that day I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in the day, have not these evils come upon us, because our God is not among us? And I will surely hide my face in that day, because of all the evil which they have done, in that they have returned to other gods. Now therefore write down this song for yourselves, and teach it to the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, and this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. When I have brought them out of the land of flowing with milk and honey, when I have brought them to the land flowing with milk and honey, of which I swore to their fathers, and they have eaten and filled themselves and grown fat, then they will turn to other gods and serve them. They will provoke me and break my covenant. Then it shall be, when many evils and troubles have come upon them, that this song will testify against them as a witness, and for it will not be forgotten in the mouths of their descendants. For I know the inclination of their behaviour today. even before I have brought them to the land of which I swore to give them. Therefore Moses wrote this song the same day and taught it to the children of Israel. Then he inaugurated Joshua the son of Nun and said, Be strong and of good courage, for you shall bring the children of Israel into the land of which I swore to them, and I will serve, and I will be with you. So it was when Moses had completed writing the words of this law in the book, when they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites who bore the ark of the covenant before the Lord, saying, Take this book of the law and put it beside the ark of the covenant before your God, that it may be there as a witness against you. For I know your rebellion and your stiff neck. If today, while I am still yet alive with you, you have been rebellious against the Lord, then how much more after my death? Gather to me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their hearing, and call heaven and earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you will become utterly corrupt and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days, because you will do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. And I will pause there for a second so that I can have a drink and blow my nose.